All right, so Robert Greene's going to be talking about how to seduce anyone. We're going to be listening to what he has to say, and I'm going to give you guys my feedback based on what he has to say. And I believe out of all the YouTubers out there, I am pretty much the most knowledgeable person about Robert Greene's content. So let's see what he has to say, and hopefully we can learn something from this.
Nonverbal. And your game, think of seduction as a language. It is a language that is mostly nonverbal. And your game is to learn that language, to master it. This is
Does he have a scarf on? Wee? Yeah? No, that's a mask.
This is my second book, The Art of Seduction, which came out in 2001. And I'm happy to say just recently we've sold over 1 million copies of this book. So there you go. So I want you to think of seduction in the following way. The people around you, all around you in your daily life, they have these kind of walls that are erected to protect themselves from intruders, protect them from advertisers, to protect them from people who are meddling in their life, to protect them from all the other intrusions that are continually distracting them. People, particularly in the 21st century, are very defensive. They have very thick walls around them. They're not necessarily interested in...
Kind of like, and like you said, it is a defense mechanism because, you know how evolution works. The more when predator and prey evolve in cohesion, the predator is going to be ahead, but the prey is always going to catch up. And we, the recipients of advertisement, are the prey. The problem with that is that these psychological defense mechanisms that we create work because they allow us to screen out things. But the problem is that it makes us defensive. So it's almost like what we need to seduce and to be seduced is what is lost, because we sort of create an antibiotic where you destroy the bad bacteria with the good bacteria. This defense mechanism not only closes you off from negative influence, but also closes us off from positive influence, from allowing people to enter our minds, and also closes us off from entering other people's mind, right? So it's almost like we have to learn how to find that middle path where we learn how to selectively close things off and not close everything off as a defensive mechanism. Like, not nuke the whole fucking thing.
Who you are. They're not interested in your ideas, in having a relationship with you, in anything about you. They're naturally resistant to you. The game in seduction is to lower those walls, to make them thinner and thinner, to find penetrating points so you can enter inside their mind, inside their defenses.
And people might say that's manipulative, but think about it. We're more resistant nowadays. So you have to be a little smart about this, right? And also, it's not just manipulative. You're sort of, how can I say this? You're reacting to them. You're sensing them. You're paying attention. It's not manipulative. You're just paying attention and understanding them, and that naturally causes them to open up to you. You get what I'm saying? So it's not just you seduce to manipulate. It's the fact that if you actually just pay attention, their defenses literally just melt away. And depending on the point of view you're looking at it, you could call that manipulation, or you could call that, like, what do you call it? Influence, charming people.
And so the ultimate power is when you're not there, when after an encounter with you or whatever, they're thinking about you. When you're not there, you have entered their mind, you've entered their inner space, and you've occupied, in a positive way, hopefully, their inner worlds, and they're thinking about you even though you're not there. That is the game, The Art of Seduction, okay? Now, think of seduction as a language. That's what I try and tell people in The Art of Seduction. But it is a language that is mostly nonverbal. And your game is to learn that language, to master it, much as you...
For example, like when I was doing game, one of the things I learned is to communicate without words. For example, try to find as many moments in your conversation when you could communicate without words. Hey, like for example, like or even speak in a way that leaves them wanting more. For example, somebody says, "Where you from?" Rather than saying New York City, I say the Northeast. Like, what do you mean the Northeast? New York City, right? That's like a way. But another way, it's almost like when if you notice the people who have the most power in movies, they communicate without words. Rather than saying, come over here, you be like, John, right? Even like Julius Caesar, like the going like this, right? Learning how to communicate without words. There's a lot of moments in your life that you could just trim out the words and just communicate non-verbally. It's an exercise that I learned when I was doing game. What was it again? It was like when somebody says like, "Are you from New York City?" Rather than saying no or yes, I just go, "What do you think?" Right? Learning to communicate. Now I'm doing it creepy, right? But you get what I'm saying.
You would master French or whatever other language there is. Okay, so what is this language? Well, it's a language of gesture. It's a language of body language. It's a language of energy that you feel.
It's almost like if I see a girl, like my girl, walking by, and she has a new dress, rather than saying, "Damn, that looks looking good," something that you could do is just say it without words. It actually hits you more. It's almost like saying like we just they were like, what are you talking? What are you talking about? I'm like, man, where are we going tonight? That says more. Get what I'm saying? And that honestly, it just think about how the sensation of that. There's an aura around that. You create an aura
off of another person. So if someone is trying to seduce you, or you're trying to seduce someone, and you're too obvious about it, and it's too clear what you're up to, and you're saying all the right cliched lines that people say in order to seduce, it just makes those walls thicker and thicker and thicker. It's too clear. People become more and more resistant, right? But if they don't even know that you're trying to seduce, if it's something that's in your energy, it is in your personality, you don't have to say a word. You have charisma. You are a siren. You are a rake. You are the natural. All the 9 types of seducers that I illustrate in there. Then you don't even have to try. It's something that emanates from your personality, and it attracts people to you without you ever saying a word. So part of that language is your own energy, your own kind of confidence and inner security that emanates out of you and that draws people to you. And that is incredibly seductive. It is a language of gestures. So when you go on a date or you take someone somewhere, it's not what you say and everything that you do. It's the place that you take them to. It's not something that they expected. It's a surprise. It's a place that they've never been to before, that's different, that's not predictable. That is part of the seductive language. When you give them a gift, it's not a gift that's obvious, that is, flowers or something like that, or something that costs a lot of money. It's a gift that shows that you're thinking about them, that you understand their spirit. So, for instance, I tell people, listen carefully to the other person. They're going to say things about what they love, about their likes, their dislikes. It says they're going to reveal.
So it's almost like it's everything but words. Rather than telling somebody you love them, the more seductive way, in other words, the way that to show your love in a way that gets them thinking. Because when you say I love you, whatever, the action makes people interpret your action to conclude that you love them. Rather than saying, I want to be with you, like, verbally, you hold them and you make sure that you communicate what you verbally want to say through a hug or holding, or you make sure you communicate that you want to be with them through a gift or a gesture. Rather than being so freaking obvious with your words, learn to say things and descript it in a form of an action, in a form of a non-verbal way.
Some of their personality. You want to get them to talk a lot and you don't hardly say anything. And in the course of revealing something that they love, a light bulb goes on in your head and you go, I can give them a gift after a couple of weeks of seeing them that reflects this particular thing they mentioned once, that reveals to them that I was listening, that I understood, that I absorbed their idea.
Yeah, rather than saying I'm listening, You do something that shows that you're listening, right? Rather, I mean that's how I do it, right? I don't tell people I like them. I just do action, and I think that's one of the positive things, at least that I know about me, is that I sort of don't tell people what I feel because of just the way I am. But the good thing about that is that I show it through action.
To them, that I was listening, that I understood, that I absorbed their idea, their spirit. And I go, wow, this person was actually hearing me. How thoughtful, right? It's a gesture. You don't have to say anything. Okay, on and on and on and on. You're learning these languages. You are learning what excites people, what triggers their level of fascination, what would repel them and repulse them. So you want to create a degree of mystery. You want to send mixed signals. They don't know exactly who you are. There's an element of, I don't really know this person. What they do tomorrow, I can't really predict. Wow, how exciting. So in the course of that, you're thinking about them. It's a language of absence and presence.
Mm-hmm.
If you're too much in people's face, if you're texting them every day, if you're emailing them and calling them all the time, there's no sense of mystery. You're not giving them any space. But if you allow 2 days or 3 days to go by where you don't call them, all right, you might think it's a little bit cruel, but no, that's part of seduction. It's part of the mating game. Don't worry about cruelty. Cruelty is part of seduction, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a little bit cruel. Okay.
And the cruelty is really done to prime them for pleasure, right? The distance makes your closeness more electric. Your harshness makes your warmth more heartwarming. As long as you're not fucking evil. Your distance, your coldness makes your warm emotions more palatable, right? And also like your distance makes your needy, creepy behavior more acceptable. So it's like it's selfish not to do this. The reason why most people won't do this is because they moralize this, or they don't have the self-control to actually wait.
Okay. So you wait a few days. In that space, they're going, maybe he or she doesn't like me that much. Maybe there's something I said that was wrong. And they start thinking about you, and they start trying to think about what they can do to please you. You've got them then. You've seduced them. The moment they're starting to think about you, that's half the game. And if you're constantly in their face, you can't allow that to happen. But if you're too absent, if 2 weeks go by and you're never there, you're just going to make them angry. You're just going to make them forget you. You're going to think that you're not trustworthy. You have to know the delicate balance between absence and presence, when to be there and when to disappear for a day or two, right? Not to answer their texts right away.
So if you notice, it's really not about words, right? It's really about presence and absence. It's an energy control. High mood, low moods, distance, closeness, warmth, cold has nothing to do with words.
Give them a little space to fantasize about you, to think what you might be doing in your absence. On and on and on and on. A language of gesture, of behavior, of things that you do, of places that you take them to, about your energy, about when you're there and when you're not there, the level of mystery that you can. If you can master that language and get people to think about you and be fascinated with you, nothing else matters. You don't have to be the handsomest and most beautiful woman in the world. You will seduce them because seduction is a game of psychology. It's a game of entering into their spirit, entering into their mind space, and making them think about you. You master that game, and you'll be able to seduce almost anyone. So that is basically the art of seduction as I've laid out in my book.
Yeah, and it goes against what everyone thinks. People say, "What's the right pickup line? What should I say? What should I text?" And it's kind of like, no, it has nothing to do with that. Rather than saying, "What should I text?" It's much better to say, "How long should I wait?" You make more mistakes with the timing of your text, with the timing of your presence and absence, than what you actually say. It's really that simple. And the funny thing is that if you actually reverse this dynamic, it's actually easier because you will end up saying less, doing more, and getting more of a reaction out of them. Now, if you guys want to learn how to apply this in your life, and you guys want to, let's just say you want to talk to Robert Greene, but you can't because he's freaking expensive. Well, you can talk to Father Alex by clicking the description down below, booking a one-on-one coaching call with me, and there I'll be able to listen to your situation and maybe help you out with that. Okay. Anyways, take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. By the way, if you guys enjoy this type of content and you guys want to get access to more premium exclusive content, you guys can check out some of my courses that I have for sale in my website, right? If you're a single person, I have courses for that. If you're in a relationship, I have courses for that. And the beauty about these courses is that they're for men and for women. In other words, I have courses for men and for women. I have courses on how to embrace your femininity, how to develop charisma if you're a guy or a woman, how to master your emotions through meditation. And I believe this is very important, especially if you want to improve your dating life, career life, emotional life. This is the course for you. It's like a 5-week course on how to handle your emotions. And from that course, you guys can apply almost everything on this channel, because mastering your emotions is the most important thing. I have courses on how to develop more assertiveness and stop being nice for men and for women. Courses on how to improve the relationship you currently have with your partner if you're a woman. Courses for men who are single and how to find a girlfriend, keep her, and how to build an attractive lifestyle. Courses for women who are single. Heck, I even have courses in fucking Espanol, people. Okay, so all of them are all on around $99 each. And if you guys want to purchase all of the courses, you guys can either get the bundle for men. If you're a man, you guys want to get this bundle, or if you're a woman, you guys can get the wifey bundle, right? And all of these include all of the courses that are basic, like the basic courses, and the courses with the premium version, all right? So you just click on the description down below where it says purchase courses and check out the courses. And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. I've never rejected people for their money back. So it's pretty much risk free. And I can promise you, if you guys enjoy this type of video, check out those courses, man. It'll literally change your life. And you know the beauty about these courses? I make courses in meditation retreats. In other words, I go to meditation retreats to come up with my ideas. I don't just copy and paste ideas. I go deep into the void of consciousness and use that as inspiration for my courses. Like the last course I did, the Feminine Woman, I did 2 10-day meditation retreats to come up with all of the content. So as you guys can see, I don't just make content for the sake of it. I actually dig deep and get at the source of things. So click in the description down below to explore all of these courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care.